morning in honor of the royal wedding. And say good morning to our gang of four. Karen.
Good morning,
Karen. Karen, they were saying that they think only women are interested in the royal wedding.
Good for you.
And she is a woman, I can confirm.
Well, it's the whole Princess Diana.
And I do think
mean,
some of it is escapism from our escapism from all the bad things.
Which, by the way, I didn't watch that either.
Is it escapism? Is it like Calgon, take me away?
I don't know.
I think that's part of it.
No, because you can't escape it today. I tried.
That's right.
No, but it's easier to watch a bunch of silliness like that. Well, you know, whatever it is, the pomp and circumstance that means something over there.
It means something to them, Ken. They love each other.
As opposed to, you know, dealing with the daily grind of our sad existence here.
In honor of the... And she's married into a good family, very reliable men. Ken is going to sing We've Only Just Begun by the Carpenters now. All right, listen, Karen, you know how we have the stories about the air traffic controllers falling asleep? Remember all that? Well, the experts have looked into it, and we now know they've come up with the ideal length for a power nap. In other words, if you need a nap at work, it's 26 minutes. How did you know? The ideal power nap, according to researchers, is 26 minutes.
If I lay down and close my eyes in the middle of the day, I can't function.
I can't either, and I would wake up 3 hours later. There's no such thing as a 26 minutes.
When I do
so
wake
what if we
up,
shook you awake at 26 minutes? Would you be like,
I think I would be disoriented.
That's the thing. You got to be able to, if you're going to do that, right? You got to be able to snap to full awakeness, right?
See, I wonder if that's like one cycle of like a REM sleep or whatever. I wonder how they
might be.
Yeah.
Why 26?
I just don't believe in power naps, and I don't believe in over multitasking either. I don't think you can focus on your job.
See, Ken, I'm with you. In my time, when you were at work, you stayed awake.
Yes, and if you dozed off, you got fired.
Sleep was what you did after work. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Don fell asleep. All right, we'll play our theme in 26 minutes.
Dude, he rocks, doesn't he, with the music?
There were times when I was young and working in an office where I'd go and eat this giant lunch, you know, an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I would sit at a computer like this, and you're trying to act like you're working.
11:11 on News Talk 550 KTSA. On the gang today, Kevin Joyce, Barry Davis, Ken Slavin. You're voting in the JR poll at 599-5555. And gentlemen, your power nap is coming up. Don't worry, we're almost there. Any big weekend plans? Anybody got any big weekend plans?
To do absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I would like to just do nothing.
But you work on the weekend.
Oh, that's true. Well, Sunday
Good thing
mornings.
I reminded him.
Yeah,
I'm
Sunday
singing in
mornings.
Austin tomorrow night.
Now, where are you going to be?
I'll be at Three Forks in Austin.
Nice.
My first time there since before Fiesta, because I had to take no singing gigs at all during Fiesta. But looking forward to that, and that's in that 2nd Street district in Austin. It is growing leaps and bounds. It's become the hip spot to go to in Austin. So I'm looking forward to that.
And do you have a combo with you, or
yeah, I
solo?
work with piano and bass and me, and they have a beautiful lounge in the restaurant with a real grand piano. It's really nice.
All right. Yeah. And Kevin, what do you got going on this weekend?
Just the same. I'm gonna relax, just chill.
What am I doing wrong? I work harder on the weekend than I do during the week.
Well, this is work. I drive up to Austin. I perform for 4 hours, and people think that singing as part of your living isn't work. It is work. It's just like you having to be on all the time on the air.
Especially if it's me singing, it's real work.
And of course, I work the room, and you try to sell CDs, and you try to get other gigs. I mean, I love it dearly, but a 4-hour gig in Austin it's really about an 8-hour process. So,
and then the groupies.
Oh yeah, they're just flooding me. But then Sunday is catch up in the house and maybe do some yard work and stuff like that.
All right. President Obama is either a guy who doesn't really believe in anything, or a guy who has learned in his 2 years in office some hard lessons. The old saying is that a conservative is a liberal who's been mugged by reality. Jonathan Gerwitz, writing this week in the Express News editorial pages, says, which is it? Is the president accepting reality when he does things like stay in Afghanistan and Iraq, keep Gitmo open, keep the Bush appointees in office, or is he a guy that just didn't really believe in anything to begin with?
Or did he just say what he needed to say to get votes?
Wouldn't that be like not really believing in anything? Or?
Yeah, you know what, realistically, and it doesn't matter, Obama, George W., Clinton, George Sr., Reagan, all of them, going back, every president campaigns on what he thinks the ideal should be. When the first day you get into that office, even before you get into that office, because President Obama was briefed on some things by NSA before he went into office, sat in some of those meetings with George W. Bush, and went, oh, wow, I had no idea. I think it truly is.
So every president.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it matters what your party affiliation is, if you were an independent, whatever. When you go to the job, you have this thing in mind of how it's going to be. And when you get there, it's a big eye-opening thing that you go, wow, I had no idea it was like this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, they get that PD, the President's Daily Briefing. I mean, you got the CIA. I mean, how many reports you're getting from different intelligence agencies? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Top secret and are so connected around the world. You know, the dangers that the public never knows about.
Right.
They immediately start aging. I think.
Well, and honestly, look at their hair. All of them get immediately get white hair as soon as they take that job. Look at President Obama. His hair was dark, little tiny hints of gray, and look at it now. You can see salt and pepper all over that.
Photographs all the time of when someone's inaugurated and when through.
Look at Clinton.
And I think that a lot of people go in there with heartfelt belief in what they're doing, and then that they are faced with some really serious realities that cannot be escaped by any president. And I think it's the hardest job in the world.
I'd love to have it. That's just me.
We'll put you down for that, Barry.
This has been an ongoing
Where do I sign up
for Barry this morning.
His sights get shifted higher. In the next segment, he'll reveal his ambitions to be Pope. All right,
that would be interesting.
Are you Catholic?
Could I beatify someone?
Let me. I got to ask you this. This just is strange to me. You know, we were talking earlier about relying on government and depending on government, and we've come to believe that we're not capable of making a decision, of knowing anything without the government watching out for us and holding our hand. So, there's a proposal before the legislature on transgender marriage, because people get married. Yes, Barry, it's time to talk about you. People get married to someone and don't know, apparently, might not know, apparently, that that's not all original equipment.
Oh my!
Wow, wouldn't that be a shocker, huh?
Well, you know, kind of like you know, the lemon law with cars, right? You got to disclose everything about the car.
Well, but the thing about that is there is no lemon law on used vehicles in Texas.
So what about it?
No matter what they are.
We shouldn't allow transgendered marriage in Texas because not everybody knows what they're getting into.
This is ridiculous. I mean, it goes back to, you know, smoking, all that stuff. I mean, come on, really? This is what we're going to deal with? I mean, when there's all this pressing issues and kids that aren't getting the right education, you know, things like that, I mean, it's ridiculous.
All right, shouldn't the buyer beware, Ken?
Should the buyer beware? That's just another example, I think, of getting too involved in personal lives. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I just don't think that this is that's such a small minority anyway. But why should that be an issue? I mean, as far as in advance, I mean, the people going in, yeah, right. I mean, at that level, I mean, people are going into this on a personal level.
There was a story, I don't know if you remember this, a couple of years ago, about a woman who, her husband was a volunteer firefighter here in Texas. He was killed in the line of duty, and she was his inheritor. The family sued, his family sued her, because it turns out she was transgendered. She had been a he. The family said he didn't know, or he had just found out right before he died and he was going to leave her. She said he knew, he was okay with it. I had had the operations. and they're going to court this summer to fight over his estate and his benefits.
I'd say the family's SOL.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if it were a recognized marriage through the state, whatever it was, that was his wife. And,
so now, but is this a cautionary tale for why we shouldn't have transgender marriages?
I don't think. I don't think that's the reason we shouldn't.
Well,
have
aren't transgendered people? I mean, maybe I just don't know enough about the subject, but aren't transgendered people, aren't they, when there's been a sex reassignment, aren't they that sex now? Isn't that what they're considered?
I haven't looked.
Or does
closely,
it really? I mean, this is just another
yeah.
example of getting involved at a level that just doesn't seem right to me. And it seems to me that this family is going to a lot of trouble to destroy someone. I don't.
Well, families. I mean, obviously, we all know families fight over everything. What else is new? Before they ever had sex change operations, families were having this fight. But I mean, it does seem as if the line just keeps getting moved as far as what we need the government to regulate and tell us what to do.
That's my point. I just think it's far too much
involvement
in this minutia as opposed to things that benefit the people at the society at large.
Why can't marriage just be a contract entered into by two people of the age of consent, and whatever combination it is what it is? Because that's a threat to traditional marriage. It's tearing our society asunder. Right?
No.
No?
I mean, I don't know what everybody's opinion is on this one, but you can never win on this subject. It can always be very divisive, but it just doesn't seem to me that it's a top priority, and it just seems wrong to me.
There are certainly stronger issues we need to be dealing with.
By the way, we talked about the royal wedding. The other big thing happening today is the launch of Endeavour, the space shuttle, this afternoon, and this is the one with Commander Kelly on board, and Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords is in Florida for the launch. Although I have to say, there were all these videos on the internet. I don't know if you saw any of them. When she was leaving Houston, supposedly they had helicopters up there. This is not the finest hour for local TV news. The local TV news helicopters were up there trying to capture a shot of her, and you can see nothing. There's nothing to see. There's a car, there's a plane, there's people getting on the plane.
You say that like you're
surprised. She must be one of them. But I mean, other than her presence, if it wasn't for that angle of the story, which is obviously of great interest to a lot of people, this space shuttle thing has kind of just gone out with a whimper, hasn't it?
So what's the next thing? Where is it? What are we going to do next?
But isn't it doesn't this sort of sum up the way government does things? The space program starts out with this tremendous promise. It inspires a generation of young people. It's so the sky's the limit, literally. And then we go to the moon, but we discover we really had no sort of plan for that or what to do once we got there.
Or no reason to be there.
And beyond the first time, maybe, no reason to be there. And then we have the space shuttle. Oh, it's fantastic. It's reusable. What did we really do with that? And now we're flying these things literally into the ground. I mean, the reason this is ending is because they're falling apart faster than Southwest 737s. And
that's just the old ones, Jack.
And what are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? This is how every government program ends.
No, there have been a number of huge discoveries, things, products, whatever, come out of the space program that we use in everyday life.
I understand that.
But where it seems, there is no plan, and I think this is the point you're trying to make, there is no plan from Space Shuttle forward. Okay, let's
They flew dozens and dozens
then what do we do?
Of redundant missions.
Yeah, what do we do
Yes, I know
next?
they invented things along the way, but they weren't inventing something every time.
What was the point? Yeah, and what are you going to do with the International Space
But of course, your
Station
point is how it's kind of going out with a whimper, and you're right.
By the way, just getting word right this minute that they have scrubbed the launch of the shuttle today due to a technical problem. Don't know what that is, but see the power of this show? We question
like that,
it.
Jack.
Boom! They back it off the launch pad. It's 11:23. When we come back, we'll do the lightning round of Gang of Four. First, Karen has headlines on KTSA.